I was conversing on my podcast on my YouTube, and one of the questions came up concerning should I allow my significant other or my mate or the person with whom I'm conversing with have access to my phone. And I told the person that that is specific to the relationship that's or the person with whom you are allowing to have access to your phone. Because there's a couple of questions that will arise. Is this person mature enough to have access to your phone? What do I mean by that? Is this person mature enough in that will they continually go through your phone just because they have access? Will they be power stricken by having access? Meaning that if y'all go out, you know, they run into a couple of their girlfriends, or they go out to a cookout, will they just arbitrarily just take your phone and go through your phone in front of everybody just because they know they can? Is the person mature enough that when they go through your phone, will they ask questions like, why did you download this app? Or why did you use this font? Why are you using this color? Or, there's a plethora of questions that they can ask. And what I'm saying to you is that, are you ready? That's the second question. Are you ready for that? Can you handle that? Yeah. Because just because they gain access doesn't mean that they are mature enough to handle the access. Because if you allow that person to have access to your phone, then every subsequent action comes beyond after that. Let me get your password to your email. Let me get your password to your voicemail. Let me get your password to this, that, and the other. And if you buck, they're going to be like, well, I got access to this. Why don't you allow me to have access to that? Do you have a secret that I should know about? And then they begin to question you beyond the phone. Are you ready for that? Which brings me to the second. Do you have the capacity to deal with it? Do you have the mental capacity or the mental fortitude or the testicular fortitude to deal with that? Yeah, as a man, do you have the capacity? As a woman, do you have the capacity? Because to sit down there knowing that this person has access and knowing that they're going to question you and continually question you, and knowing that they have access and they can just go through your phone at will, or they can ask you questions at will. Do you have the mental capacity to deal with that? Because it's a lot. It's a lot. For some people, it's a violation. Because it's a violation in your mind. You're like, well, don't you trust me? Yeah. Everybody doesn't have that capacity. That's why it's important that you vet a person. What do I mean by that? That you listen more about what they're not saying than what they're saying. Because what they're not saying and how they act demonstrates who they are. What they are saying is just somebody either trying to prove themselves to you, or trying to mask who they are, or they're trying to get you to like them more. Yeah. But what they're not saying, are they fidgety? Do they constantly text? Are they constantly asking questions? Vet the person. Did you do a background check on them? All of that, you have to vet the person. You can't go in automatically giving people credit just because they got a good job. You can't go in automatically giving a person credit just because they look beautiful or they're handsome. Nah, those days are over. Yeah. You have to vet the person because we always are quick to try to prove that we're trustworthy to people, but facts don't need any support. So therefore, you don't have to constantly prove yourself. If you're trustworthy, if you're a trustful person, then that's who you are. You don't have to continue to do that. And then thirdly, there's the other group of people that think that they're doing something by asking for the phone. The person gives them the phone, let them go through all of the entire phone and all of that. But then they have a second phone in the car underneath the seat or in the trunk underneath all of the junk by the red tire. Yeah. So while you can go through the phone all you want, but the person has already calculated your steps. Yeah. So I'm saying to you, out of the three extremes that I've given you, it all comes to, do you have the mental capacity to deal with such an egregious act, such a violating act to a certain degree? Do you have that in you? Me personally, I mean, you can go through the phone, but you're not going to be asking me questions. I let you go through the phone no, you're not going to be asking me questions. Why? Because the phone and who I am as a person, who I am, I don't have to explain. Who you are, you don't have to explain. You can't justify trust. You can't justify a genuine spirit. It's who you are. You can't justify who God created you can be. Who God created you to be. You can't justify your morals, your integrity. That's who you are. You can't justify or prove who you are in that capacity as it relates to, in relationship with. You can't justify that. Yeah. So I'm saying to you, if you feel led to give them the password, then give it. If you don't, then don't do it. Remember what I said, and I've used as much specificity as possible. This kind of act is specific to your mental capacity, your emotional capacity. Yeah. It's specific to your thought process. It's specific to your life. Can you handle somebody bombarding you with the questions? Can you handle somebody asking for even more access beyond the texting? I don't want to give you that answer. I don't want. But you have to be prepared that if you're not going to give it to that person, you have to be prepared to walk away because they might get slick out their mouth. And you have to be careful that if you are, the after effects, what happens after this, after you've done that. That's why it's important to pray, because you don't know the person that you're dealing with until you're put in a certain predicament. If this information has been a blessing to you, if you think it's helpful to somebody else, do me a favor. Like the video, comment below, hit that follow button or that subscribe button, and share this out with as many people as possible. Yeah, because somebody needs to hear this, and we want to help them. Yeah. And drive on and do good.